Good morning again, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus. I'm back. Why? Because I got something new to tell you. Check this out. Well, we didn't win the lottery, so we're right back where we were before we bought those tickets. The same problems exist, and we still have to deal with them. So, how do we do that? The truth might help us. What I want us to know, ladies and gentlemen, is that all of these different things we try in order to get over the hump in these systems of the world, in these systems of men, we are always going to lose. When I say we, because none of those rules and regulations are going to work for all of us. And when some of us fail, we all fail. You know, when we think about America, I want you to know that my whole purpose is to let you know that there is a God, and God is the answer to our problems. When I say God, I'm talking about an invisible God responsible for all the goodness of life. That's what I'm talking about. Now, I know we have never been under any kind of rules and regulations and guidance and control by that God. We have had people stand before us and tell us all kind of lies, and we as human beings, not just in America, but all over the earth, are just buying lies. And the evidence of the lies are that we have all of the failure around us. We haven't been able to interpret that as a loss, as us buying lies, but the reality of it is, once you know the truth, you see it for what it exactly and absolutely is. See, God's way was made beautiful, that human beings could live on the earth, just like birds fly through the air having a wonderful time, or just like the wind that blows through the leaves of the trees, or the flowers that grow out in the valleys. They're just beautiful as they could be. Human beings are supposed to live just like that, because there are principles that make those beautiful wind flow and the water flow and the flowers grow. There are principles that causes that to happen. And they are the same kinds of principles that are relative to make life beautiful and satisfied for everybody. But when you don't know that and you crazy, you just like grass growing out everywhere, then you're going to be just like that. So every now and then someone comes along and gives you what they've been given that's different from everything that you know. For instance, in America, we say we're Christians. That's what Americans have been taught to say. Christians, if they were given something else to say in the beginning, that's what they would have been saying. But they're saying Christian because that was what they were given. They were told that Christians act a certain kind of way. That's what they were given, in pictures and in words, and sometimes almost in action. A lot of times action was worse than the pictures or the words. But that's what it's all about. When you hear Americans say that they are Christians, they are just passing along something that they have heard. They don't know what a Christian is, what the Christian is intended to be. In fact, they have no idea of what God is. How can they know about God? Listening to man, reading in a book? Is that what they are supposed to understand God as being? Well, they might not understand the special of God. They can't see and translate that into that which you can see, but there are those who have seen in the spirit that God and know what that God is like and how that God produces what people wish but don't have, and got the principles in play and can get those practice, then you got the result. But what we have, ladies and gentlemen, are people calling themselves representatives of God. God has made it possible again that all we have to do is exist through those principles. But what the world has said is that God is invisible if God exists. And in being invisible, that gives them, whoever has the balls or the guts, to stand up and claim authority. In Russia, I don't know what kind of religion they have, but it means nothing. Putin is their God. In North Korea, I'm just calling these few places, I don't know what kind of God they relate to, but I do know who their God is. Their God is the guy who's killing them if they don't listen. I do know in America, we say Christian. They even talk about Jesus a lot. But America has no God. America's God is the founding fathers, the Constitution. And we are finding out now that even the Constitution, America's God, is being violated because you got somebody bold enough to do it, to violate the Constitution, and the people are acquiescing. Even the Supreme Court acquiescing to that one that's bold enough to violate their God, man's way. All of it, ladies and gentlemen. Christianity, all the different faces or faiths that come here, it means nothing. It's just people toting around garbage. None of it is real. And when you saw it, it would blow your mind. And you probably wouldn't believe it. Let me tell you something. The people that you have honored. Let's start with Ronald Reagan. Christianity and white people loved Ronald Reagan. People who had money and could go to the table and eat, they loved Ronald Reagan. But there were people who were suffering at the hands of Ronald Reagan just as deeply as those who were eating and having a good time. But see, the ones who was eating and having a good time didn't care. Because why? Their God said it was okay. That God in the White House, or that God in the Supreme Court, or that God in the Constitution said it was okay. See what I'm saying? You get my point? But the God of the universe, that invisible God, wasn't saying that was okay. But there weren't that many people around that knew it. Back in the day, we had Dr. King, we had Malcolm X. These people knew it. There were people who were killed in the process of learning, but they were knowing. Today, we ain't nothing but talk. Every church in America, as far as I can see, is nothing but talk. Every church in America is nothing but talk. That means every preacher is nothing but talk. I know they don't want to hear this stuff, and you who are going to that church declare that I must be the voice of Satan, but telling you that they're nothing but talk. Again, the God of the universe designed life so that you could live in peace and be prosperous. Are you peaceful, prosperous, free? Do you experience that? All of you. I'm not talking about some of you. I'm not talking about the guy with the richest man in America. I'm not talking about the billionaires of America. I'm talking about the people on the street with the tent. How you feel about that? Y'all, don't try to tell me about the peace in your soul, because you are living in hell. And all of America is playing a part in your hell. Ignorantly or not, we are the makers of America. The people in the rest of the world are the makers of that rest of the world. And none of us are beyond that. We are only good. We are only here still because we have choice. And that power that put us here has decided that even till now, we will remain here. Donald Trump says he wants to suffer for you. That lying joker. Look, when I decided to stop taking orders while in the military, Ronald Reagan was the commander-in-chief. I refused to take orders. Why? Because he was an embarrassment to God and an embarrassment to me. The reason I would break laws in America, because they were an embarrassment to God and an embarrassment to me. And I've been to jail several times. I can't say many times, but been to prison. Why? As a statement, I wanted you to know. When I violated laws, I didn't run and hide, try to pretend. No, I broke the law and went to jail. I broke the law and turned myself in. Why? Because I wanted you to know that because of the truth, you were worth it. And I would sacrifice my freedom just to tell you what you never heard or what you didn't know. And I did it. And I ain't no shame in my game. And we still walk around here listening to man. Don't have any respect for the invisible God. And you can't even fathom up enough what is this gumption to say, well, what, maybe, no. You just walking on down that path. And but I just want to repeat before I go. Yes, chill, because you got exactly what you deserve.